What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some very entertaining battles in the Open Ultra League submitted to the channel by Cool23Boy23, who's running a triple Shadow Glass Cannon team with Magnezone, Shiny Ho-Oh and Gengar, but this trainer is only running Nuke charge moves, which means if the opponent tries to call a bait, it's probably not going to end up too well for them. And with that being said, let's just get straight into the question of the day. What is your favourite Pokemon to run with double Nuke charge moves? Let me know in the comment section down below, let me know which charge moves you like to run as well. And with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so go into the first battle, leading Shadow Magnezone into a Tapu Koko. So this is a great matchup for us. The opponent is going to be safe swapping into a Licky Licky, and honestly, we don't really have a great response in the back. It's a normal type Pokemon with rollout. We've got Ho-Oh, which takes double super effective damage, and Gengar, which of course we can only really hit with the Focus Blast. So we're going to farm up to back-to-back Wild Charges. The opponent no shields the first charge move. We're then going to swap. Have we just caught an Earthquake onto our Ho-Oh? Yes, we have. That's resisted damage. We can now go for the Incinerate farm down, and the opponent comes back in, of course, with the Tapu Koko, but we're able to reach a Sacred Fire. This should be grabbing a shield from the opponent, and the opponent is going to use a shield there. Unfortunately, we don't get the debuff. That's okay. Magnezone is going to completely wall the energy. However, of course, these are both very attack-weighted Pokemon. You can see we actually lose CMP here. And this Nature's Madness, whilst it is resisted, it does a ton of damage there. So we're now going to fire off the Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon, unfortunately, is shielded by the opponent, but we can swap into the Shadow Gengar. Of course, going to have to use a shield here. They're probably just going to go straight for Nature's Madness once again, and they do, which means these Dragon Tails are chunking, but we reach the Focus Blast. Focus Blast is for super effective damage. It easily gets the one-shot up against the Guzzlord. We get a simultaneous KO there, but we still had health on the Shadow Magnezone, so we're able to take that game. Into next battle, see Shadow Magnezone into a Shadow Alolan Sandslash. So a bit of a tricky lead matchup for us. Of course, a Drill Run would very easily one-shot us here. Gonna hit for double super effective damage. So we're going to shield once again, probably farm up to the back-to-back Wild Charges here. And no, actually, instead, we're going to swap into our Shadow Ho-Oh and once again catch a Drill Run or, well, a resisted ground-type charge move onto the Shadow Ho-Oh. Very nice play there. Also banking all of that energy. We full send the Brave Bird. The opponent actually no-shields that, but they're also not going to commit to a full farm down there. I think they would have been fine, but that's okay. Scored, takes us out there, but we can come back in with the Shadow Magnezone. Probably go for a full farm down. No, actually, we're also not going to commit to the farm down. Instead, firing off the Wild Charge. Wild Charge obviously gets the KO from that range. They're going to come back in with the Sand Slash. We commit to a farm down there as well, but the opponent comes in with a Rangaroo. This is going to be very tricky for us. We go for the Flash Cannon, it gets shielded, and honestly, our only win condition right now is if we're able to shield this up and then full send a Focus Blast, and the opponent, for whatever reason, not shielding it. So that's exactly what we're going for here. We are full sending the Focus Blast, and the opponent does not respect the damage for whatever reason, and Focus Blast gets the one shot, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, Shadow Magnezone into Zygarde. This is an awful matchup for us. Of course, we do at least have Flash Cannon, so it's not as bad as it would typically be. But we're going to swap into the Shadow Ho-Oh here. Of course, they could be running Bulldoze, which would be incredibly problematic for us. But we are going to see a crunch from the opponent. We're going to farm up to 100 energy, throw on the CMP tie as the opponent reaches the next crunch. And the opponent lets the Brave Bird go through, which is actually huge for us because now we can probably come in with the Shadow Gengar and just go for a Shadow Claw farm down. Gonna wait out the switch clock, come in with a Shadow Gengar, and we're able to commit to the farm down there. They come in with their own Shadow Ho-Oh. We are going straight for the Shadow Ball here, of course. No base, and Shadow Ball is easily going to get the one shot there. They've got Annihilate in the back. They realize they're actually just going to be fully Shadow Claw farm down at that point, so they're just going to concede the match. Into next battle, we're going to see a Baxcalibur in the lead. So great lead for us. They're going to say swap into a Skeleturge. And unfortunately, whilst we're hitting for super effective damage with the Shadow Claws here, they're going to deal more damage with the Incinerates. And unfortunately, because we don't have a bait charge move, we're only reaching one Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball, of course, going to be shielded by the opponent. But they actually don't commit to a full farm down because actually it probably looks like it would have been a simultaneous KO. So the opponent goes for Disarming Voice there. We can come in with the Shadow Ho-Oh, go for a double Incinerate farm down there. They come back in with the Excalibur. We're now going to overfarm, farming up to the Sacred Fire, going for the Brave Bird anyways. Brave Bird gets the one shot. It's not respected. They come in with Annihilate, and we're actually going to overfarm here. I'm not sure about this play, but we've got a lot of energy. The opponent goes for Rage Fist. We're now going to swap back into the Magna Zone, and we can still outpace them to the Wild Charge before they reach another Rage Fist. Wild Charge grabs the final shield. Now it just comes down to who wins CMP in this matchup, but it's going to be the shiny Shadow Ho-Oh who goes straight for Brave Bird once again, and Brave Bird easily gets the KO from that range, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, see Shadow Magna Zone into a Shadow Dragonite. So of course, we are going to stay in this matchup here. They have to go for a superpower. However, actually, to be honest, in the one shield scenario, a Dragon Claw is probably going to pretty much put us into farm down range anyway. So we are now going to farm up to the back-to-back Wild Charges, probably just throw them straight away here. So first one is going to be shielded by the opponent, and we go straight for Wild Charge number 2. If they shield this, we might have to swap out into a different Pokemon, and we do. We swap into the Shadow Ho-Oh. We are going to no-shield the first charge move. The opponent goes for Dragon Claw, which does do quite a lot of damage there, and unfortunately we're not able to get a full Incinerate farm down before they do reach the next Dragon Claw. So Dragon Claw number 2 grabs our final shield. They actually come in with a Lowland Sand Slash. What on earth have they got in the back? We go straight for Sacred Fire, easily getting the one shot, and they've got a Registeel in the back. We needed to commit to the Sacred Fire there. I'm actually not sure if we would have lived it, so maybe they would have lock-on farmed us down at that point, but we swap out there, realizing if we just give them extra farm, there's no way we win this game. The opponent over farms there, they fire off the Focus Blast. Can we still outpace them with the Shadow Gengar? Unfortunately, no, we're not able to do so. The opponent goes for Zap Cannon. Zap Cannon gets the one shot, and you can see we actually do get off another Incinerate before they farm us down there. So if we committed to the Sacred Fire, we could have won that game, but unfortunately we did not so, and unfortunately we do end up losing that game. But into the next battle, we see a Typhlosion in the lead. We Sage Swap into our Shadow Gengar, and again, we don't have any baits. We are full send in the Shadow Ball, and the opponent doesn't respect the damage there. What on earth was that? We flip switch advantage. I don't know how helpful that is for us, just because Typhlosion with energy is very dangerous for this team, but we're going to come in with the Shadow Ho-Oh, unfortunately throwing on the CMP tie. They go for a Thunder Punch here. We're probably going to have to double shield if they do shield the Brave Bird here, and then just commit to a full farm down. But no, we're actually going to swap out into our Shadow Magna Zone, and the opponent over farms. That Volt Switch damage will register. It will get the KO, so it doesn't matter how much energy they had there. They end up going down, and of course, we're at back-to-back Wild Charges, but might as well just full send the Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon, unfortunately, is shielded by the opponent, and we actually don't reach another charge move here. This is going to be a lot closer than I was expecting. The opponent will be reaching a charge move. They could go for a Side Shock here, but they go for a Moonblast. That does probably more damage, but we are just about able to hang on, reach a Brave Bird, and of course, you guys know the drill. Brave Bird gets the one shot, and we're able to take that game. So going into next battle, see Shadow Magna Zone into a Giratina Altered. So this is not a great matchup for us, but again, definitely helped out by the fact that we're running Flash Cannon. We are going to probably no-shield the first charge move. The opponent is running Shadow Sneak there, so I guess Ho-Oh is a little bit safer because we know they're not on Ancient Power. So we're actually going to swap into the Ho-Oh, and the opponent is going to fire off another charge move. They go straight for the Dragon Claw there, and unfortunately, they probably will outpace us to the next move. No, it's a CMP tie. We're going straight for Brave Bird, and Brave Bird is going to be shielded by the opponent. So at this point, we're just going to let the Ho-Oh go down here. The opponent is going to undercharge the Dragon Claw there, looking to get more energy. Very smart play by the opponent, of course. We did just debuff our defense there, so if they fully charge that, they wouldn't get much of a farm down. But we come in, we go straight for Flash Cannon. The opponent does not expect that, and we come in with our Shadow Gengar. Now, of course, typically not a great matchup, but we are running Focus Blast, and we are absolutely full sending it right now. Focus Blast is unfortunately shielded by the opponent, but we do still have 2 shields here, so I'm going to shield up the Crunch. They will be able to reach another Crunch, and honestly, by the time we reach a Shadow Ball, honestly, even though it's resisted damage, it's Shadow on Shadow. Shadow Gengar hits incredibly hard. We might as well just full send the Shadow Ball right now. Shadow Ball is going to get the KO there. They come back in with Virizion, and this is just going to be a Leaf Blade at worst. So, of course, no shields remaining. We're able to hang on, and again, we don't have to commit to a Focus Blast. We can go straight for the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is going to take out the Virizion there, and we're able to take that game. So going into next battle, we see Shadow Magna Zone once again into a Lowland Sand Slash. So again, going to be a little bit tricky for us here, but we are going to see the opponent throw straight away, and it doesn't even matter if they bait at this point because they've given us a full Volt Switch in for free, which means we can farm up to back-to-back moves, but we actually try to make the catch there, and it does not work this time, as the opponent is able to basically hold on to the energy there. They come in with a Tapu Fini, and we do debuff ourselves there. So at this point, they do probably have a charge reloaded on the Tapu Fini, but we've got back-to-back wild charges, so we're throwing it straight away. First wild charge will be coming through, and it's going to be no shielded by the opponent. They come back in with the Sand Slash, but again, they're going to lose CMP here. Wild charge number 2 grabs the final shield, and this one, you probably just put it all on the Shadow Gengar. The opponent goes for Ice Punch. Ice Punch gets the KO from that range, but we come in with the Shadow Gengar, and unfortunately, it does not look like we'll be able to go for a full Shadow Claw farm down. So we shut up the Ice Punch. They come in with a Oranguru, and again, we are full sending the Focus Blast right now. Is this going to get the one shot again? No, it actually does not quite get the KO there, and unfortunately the opponent reaches a Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing easily takes out the Gengar, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But of course, even if we did get the KO there, they still had a fairly healthy Sand Slash in the back. We would have lost anyways. But into next battle, we're going to see a Togekiss in the lead. The opponent lets us get a huge farm before swapping into a Poliwrath. So we could just go straight for back-to-back wild charges. Instead, we're going to bank one of them, swap into the Shadow Gengar, and just shield whatever they throw here. The opponent is going to go for an Icy Wind there, debuffing our attack. Doesn't really matter too much though. Shadow Gengar is still going to hit incredibly hard, and a Shadow Ball will be enough damage to get the KO. The opponent does not double shield. They're now going to come in with a Feraligatr. We're going to farm up throw on the potential CMP tie with a Hydro Cannon, but the opponent does not throw it, instead using their shield, and unfortunately for, well, never mind, we're able to make the combo play, swapping into Shadow Magnezone, sniping with the wild charge there, and of course they can now Charm Farm us down, but it just doesn't matter. The opponent recognizing, I mean, even in a really good position there, like, they still would have lost that game. So we're able to take that there. Into next battle, we're going to see a Nidoqueen in the lead. Not great for us. We're going to say swap into the Gengar, and we are going to go straight for the Shadow Ball, and again throwing on the CMP tie. Shadow Ball is going to unfortunately be shielded, but at this point you definitely just let the Gengar go down. The opponent goes for the Hydro Cannon. They undercharge once again. Really nice play there, realizing of course locked into that CMP tie, but they can still get some farm there. We're now going to shield. Hopefully we can Volt Switch farm them down before they do reach a second Hydro Cannon, and we are just about able to do so. They come back in with the Nidoqueen, probably not expecting a Flash Cannon, so we are full sending it. The opponent does not shield. We can come in with the Shadow Ho-Oh, and of course, we're going to no-shield this. Unlikely that they're running Stone Edge. They go for a Poison Fang there before swapping into a Walrein, and we're going straight for the Brave Bird here. Of course, we can't really bait with a Shadow Ho-Oh anyways, but the opponent, for whatever reason, chooses to no-shield that. They are incredibly low here. At this point, we're actually going to shield up the Ho-Oh. I'm not so sure about that, because we don't land the Incinerate damage. We come in with the Magnezone, and we're able to get a double resisted Volt Switch farm down there just as they're reaching the Earth Power, and luckily for us, we're able to take that game. But into next battle, we can see a Drapion in the lead. So this is a fairly neutral matchup for us, of course. We are going to double resist the Poison Sting damage, but a Crunch is going to do a ton of damage here, and they drop our defense. So they can just settle for an Aqua Tail at this point. We're going to go straight for the Wild Charge. Wild Charge is going to be shielded by the opponent. We throw on the CMP tie here, and we are definitely going to shield this. As the opponent goes for an Aqua Tail, we can still, of course, even though we've debuffed our defense, tank these Poison Stings very comfortably. And again, throwing on the CMP tie, Wild Charge grabs the final shield. At this point, you probably just let the Magnezone go down. Aqua Tail going to get the KO there. We come in with the Shadow Ho-Oh, probably looking to shield once and commit to a farm down. However, unfortunately, it looks like 2 more Incinerates will get the KO, but we won't quite get that farm down. So we swap into Shadow Gengar here, and we are able to catch an Aqua Tail, which is very nice. They're going to come in with a Tentacruel, which is fine with us, and then they swap into Annihilate, so we farm up to 100 energy here. This is definitely the perfect play. Shadow Ball easily gets the one shot there. They come back in with the Tentacruel, and they just barely outpace us to the Charge Move, but they only reach an Acid Spray, which means, of course, we can still go straight for the Shadow Ball, and a Shadow Ball from Shadow Gengar easily gets the KO there, and we're able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.